Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah, what it do? Penthouse, man, what a view. Fall back as I'm coming through.
Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Zuletu, and you're watching nth-level entertainment.
This week we're going to open up with a breaking news story.
Yes.
It has been announced, this is confirmed,
Finally.
There's going to be a Nightwing movie.
The best character in the Batman family, as far as I'm concerned.
So, from this announcement, what I'm taking away...
It kind of came through the back door though, eh? Have you heard much about it before?
No, I only picked it up in the last few days.
I wasn't even sure they were doing a Nightwing movie, but anyway.
Which is a nice surprise, but
it is.
Doesn't this technically confirm that the Robin who died in Batman v Superman was Jason Todd?
I guess it does.
Because Nightwing's Dick Grayson. That
Yes.
goes without saying.
Quite clever, actually. I suppose you would think... Do you think they planned it that way? Because...
I think they were grasping at straws after Suicide Squad. Because if this was in part of their Justice League plan, surely they would have announced it sooner.
Or at least, teased some build-up information. You know, because it wasn't even in the works as far as we all knew.
Yeah, all we got was a dead Robin tease in BBS.
And that was it. It sounds planned though. I mean, look, they must have intentionally kept it out of public knowledge. Because for it to go as far as them even landing a director says to me, it's...
Well, that's all they've done. We haven't heard talk about who's writing it. We haven't heard talk about who they are even considering to play Dick Grayson.
But we know there's a budget of some sort that's been allocated if they're looking for a director.
Yeah.
If they've moved it that far.
It sounds like this is a tentative sort of teaser step. Like, this movie may still not happen, but I think this is DC, Warner Brothers kind of testing the waters a bit. And they shall find the waters fine. Yes, we want it. Just make a Nightwing movie. Make it. I want this. I'm asking for this.
Warner Brothers, please. Wow, what an awesome follow-up though to what has been happening, I think. And apparently the director, Chris McKay, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
The director of the Lego Batman movie.
Which apparently is doing awesome.
I need to check that out now.
We do.
It's a must-watch.
We do.
I apologize for not having seen it.
Sure. Wow. Okay. So, what episode?
So, Nightwing, really cool. Quick segue into other DC properties. What's been happening in the TV space?
Well, today, Dave, we've got an action-packed episode. We're going to be talking about the latest episode of Supergirl. We're going to be talking about The Flash. And we're going to be talking about Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow.
Which I don't hate this week.
Team, they coming too, that's real. Too real. Motherfucker, tell me how you feel. I'm too good for my own good. I won't leak the album, I let it spill. Number 1, bitch, I bet it will. Do the numbers, I said it will. I played the game and I'm still the same and I never changed just to get it.
Alright.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Supergirl. The episode title was Mr. and Mrs. Mxyzptlk.
Is it Mxyzptlk or Mxyzptlk? I can't pronounce that name. It's a crazy 5th dimension imp.
How are we not hearing about more people injuring their tongues trying to say this? How are not hospitals flooding with 5-year-olds holding comic books of like Action Comics number 34? Jeez.
I will say this though, I liked that character, and this show, if I'm giving an overview on this episode of Supergirl, felt most like an episode from Young Justice.
Very true.
It was light, it was very, very easy, there wasn't any cringe to it, it was sincere when it needed to be.
I suppose the heavy overtone of it, if there was one, would have been Monel, as far as his determination to now... Because, I mean, look, at the end of the previous episode, he had just finally confirmed things with Kara. And now... in that moment, here comes this guy who's challenging that.
Well, what we got was the standard TV trope of a Valentine's Day episode just 1 week late.
Dude. And the entire thing was all about Valentine's.
Yeah, but I feel like the show's kind of earned that. Like, the characters have endeared themselves to me enough that I can go, oh, okay, yeah, their personal lives, their romantic entanglements, that's important to them. I can watch this and not think, oh, okay, I want to turn away.
True. I'm just thinking about the whole thing. It's a week later, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
the show plays a day before Valentine's Day. Wouldn't that maybe have been a better time to air the episode?
I think with the crossover, that maybe scheduling kind of got a little messed up, and we're airing slightly
I suppose.
in a slightly different timeline, or maybe Valentine's Day just happens the week later on Earth.
On Earth 38.
On Earth 38. I'm not going to go into the history of alternate Earth Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow. It was a good episode, though.
Yeah.
And did you find it weird that Mr. Mixapidalic looked better in the Tyler Hoechlin Superman costume than Tyler Hoechlin did? Did it not look a bit more like refined this time around?
I don't know. I think, didn't his suit look a little bit darker, just a little bit?
Well, the difference was the M instead of the S. That was the most notable difference.
Mixy.
But it did seem a little bit more refined, though.
Yeah, he wore it well. But
You think?
But
That was interesting.
he perfectly played the part of the person who's charming, but you still want to punch him in the face.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
And I guess
yeah.
that also oozed into the way he wore the suit.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. That's exactly what this character is supposed to be. Nailed it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I like that, much like in the animated show, this wasn't a solution that a Superman-type character, in this case Supergirl, could have fixed with might. It had to be solved with intelligence.
Yes, almost like Batman maybe fighting the Riddler, for example.
Yeah, but the Riddler is not a fifth-dimensional being that can unmake reality.
True.
He's just a guy with a question mark and a penchant for green.
Yeah. He thought he had it with that suit. That's not the kind of loud we're looking for. Yeah, well, look, props for the live-action universe depictions of Mr. Pickle. I'm not going to try and say his name again.
Mixie, for short.
Yes. Props to them for the suave way in which they actually bring him on screen. You know, he looks so much better than what we were expecting last week.
Yeah, he's actually funny. He's funny, he's light comic relief in this episode. His motivations are clearly insane, which is the whole point of the episode. Which, thematically, overall, I think this was a great Supergirl episode.
It was. And how do we feel about the whole relationship thing with Maggie and Alex complaining about, well, one complaining about how dare you celebrate Valentine's Day when I told you I don't like it? I
think this sounds like a 39-year-old writer writing 27-year-olds as if they were 22-year-olds. That's very immature. Come on, you're almost 30. At this point, you should have worked through these issues. Oh no, when I was in high school, I had a bad date. That was half your life ago.
You know,
come on.
Considering how a progressive person who happens to be a lesbian would be expected to be, I mean, the life issues you deal with, I think, are so much deeper than your aversion to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and I think maybe something like that, I don't know. It's not something I'm qualified to answer on, but I feel like maybe it was a little bit childish.
True.
Which kind of is in keeping with the youthful nature of the show.
I suppose. Speaking of which, Wynn scored in an alien bar.
Yeah, I would totally bang that alien.
With an alien. Who was a resident of the world. What is it, Starhaven?
And what is it that he took her out on a date to a regular human restaurant, didn't he?
Yes, I think, as a follow-up, yeah.
Aliens aren't just casually walking around, are they? How does that fly?
Well, look, the president gave them amnesty.
Yeah.
Amnesty, sorry, the former Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, and and also I think in that same episode, didn't it become public knowledge that there's this bar that aliens like hang out in?
I don't know if that's public knowledge though.
It's gotta be.
Well, it has to be if Cadmus was able to, but I mean, Cadmus knows things.
And Cadmus like regularly uses it as a petri dish to test all their poisons. You know, like Cyborg Superman was there the one time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting. But now, here's the other thing that's interesting about that, actually. That alien that Wynn made out with, or actually scored with, actually, she's from Starhaven, which is another, I think, possible wink to Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, really?
Because Dawnstar, who's one of the Legion of Superheroes, is from Starhaven. She's the girl with the wings in the Legion of Superheroes.
Ah, okay.
So I think it's possible that they might cameo in the future.
I wouldn't put it past them now, especially now that Supergirl's on CW and they're quite bold with. I mean, the first 2 episodes of the season had Superman show up. Just okay, he's there.
Just like that. Just like that.
Yeah, I think if anyone's going to do it, the CW would pull it.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay.
So overall, what do you think of the episode?
Look, it was good. And that last fight scene with Jor-El's eye statue.
Oh yeah,
That was pretty kick-ass and very well animated.
It was pretty cool. Well, yes, I had to say it.
Okay, so I give it, especially considering that as well, I give it a 4 out of 5.
Also considering Superman's going to have to go back and remodel his Fortress of Solitude.
Yes.
I would give it 5 chilled Jor-Els.
Great.
Yeah.
You gave an episode a perfect score. This goes down in history.
I liked it. It was pitch perfect. I had nothing to fault. It was great.
There you have it. That wraps it up for Supergirl.
I came from nothing to something like it's nothing. Yeah, you know I done it. That is no discussion, bitch. I'm ballin'. I made a promise to my mama. I'ma turn these zeros into tens and commas. Bitch, I'm ballin'. Closing $1 million deals. Catch me swerving, burning $100.
And now we move on to the Flash. Attack on Gorilla City.
I am really liking, before we even get into the episode, I'm really liking Julian in this. I'm like,
dude.
oh, okay. All right. I see he's kind of working his way in as a nice member of the team.
I love how he started out as this like negative pill, you know, Mr. Dark Cloud.
Yeah.
How he was never optimistic, especially like, you know, when the team needs motivation, he's the one to point out all the faults. Wow.
But he's not wrong.
He's not. It's just that it's just that they've got this culture of optimism, you know, that he doesn't quite get, I guess.
Well, he's kind of the realist on the team.
But he is growing quite nicely though, with the team.
With that said, he was kind of useless in this episode. This was more like a character moment in this episode.
And he was the most dressed up as well.
Yeah.
That was weird. That was a weird choice.
The casual Indiana throwaway line. Okay, that's fine.
You know.
Thank you. Also, no one else was freaked out that he just has a gun. That he's bringing a gun now. Well, he's not actually a police officer. He's a forensic analyst.
But now don't.
It's just, oh, don't worry about me. I've got this gun.
Well, doesn't his affiliation to the police as a forensic officer kind of give him license to do that?
I think he missed last week's Arrow PSA.
Oh.
Yeah, I went there.
Oh wow! I guess Barry is now the one who had to text Oliver for him to come around and.
With that said, I like how this show can have psychic talking gorillas and it doesn't look dumb.
It didn't.
I can buy into this.
It was handled well, but I have an issue with that as far as canon, because now.
Yeah, they actually spoke.
in the comics, and Grodd was the only one who had the psychic powers. So,
But hey, let's not have talking animals. We pretty soon they'll have Crypto, the super dog, show up, and I don't need that.
I get that, but the
Don't
thing
make them
is,
do
it's
it.
canon. It's canon. I mean, that's a big thing. It's supposed to be unique to Grodd. You know, and did they all get hit by particle accelerators? You know, the
No.
whole city?
This is the prelude to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
So it's a crossover episode. The cinematic
Yeah.
plan of the EP. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Wow.
Because Dave Franco, James Franco, is actually on Earth 2.
I see.
He's conducting
I
experiments.
see.
He's the other Harrison Wells.
Oh, is he not Harrison Wells' partner, who they keep shying away from mentioning? Are they afraid to say
Oh, yeah.
James Franco?
Yeah, that makes perfect. Not the character James Franco played. It is
Of
actually
course.
James Franco,
Oh, yes.
who, the Renaissance man that he is, also took up genetic engineering and created super gorillas. Yeah, that's in canon now. I don't care what you say. This episode, okay, so last week we get Jesse Quick coming through,
Yes.
talking to Wally. And now we've got, this episode touches on the romantic arc between Wally and Jesse.
Which is also a bit strange.
Yeah, we had a few episodes that built that.
We did. But the thing is now, it also, you know, I don't like what they try to use as some sort of meat for their story. It kind of like harkens back to what we were saying just now about the fight that Alex and Maggie had in Supergirl. So now with her, she was like, "Oh, you got your powers and you stopped texting."
Yeah, you see, with Maggie and Alex, I feel like that's being handled differently. That's got its own unique space, and I'm okay with it.
Okay.
With Wally and Jesse, I feel, okay, maybe this isn't handled that well, but it's okay. You know, I mean, they're both speedsters. We got to get a Wally and Jesse team up at some point, and
I suppose.
let's just build towards it. Let's not fight this.
I guess. All right, but it was pretty cool though.
Yeah, I like that Jesse gets to see Wally in his element, and she recognizes,
yes.
oh, this is who he was supposed to be.
Right. Maybe that's what she's actually adjusting to.
Yeah.
Which is great from a philosophical point of view. It's nice the kind of I mean, I wouldn't call them life lessons, but messages that they like to have in these shows as well.
Oh, and the romantic advice from HR. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Yeah. That's great.
You know, anytime HR gets to drop a pearl of wisdom is a good day for a Flash episode.
Well, whenever he talks about romance, I'm reminded of the TV show Ed. The actor was also in a sitcom that was back in the day.
The same actor?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
You should check it out.
That's on my
I recommend
to-watch
it. Watch Ed.
that's going on my watch list.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Because I have always liked Tom Cavanaugh as an actor. I mean, you know, he's played so many versions of Harrison Wells. I'd like to see an episode where Hell's Wells comes through.
Hell's Wells?
He was the cowboy or Texas version of Harrison Wells when they sent out that cryptogram to the multiverse.
Oh, I almost forgot about that.
And there was a few of them that answered. You know, you saw like, I think there was like a very British one. And the first one to come through was Hell's Wells. He was just awesome. Typical tobacco spitting in a cup type of cowboy.
I really don't want that until they know how to do Jonah Hex right. Let's not have another cowboy in the show.
And you know, Jonah Hex is always being put into this situation where he has to be rescued. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Like, he was always a damsel, and
But we're digressing.
we are.
So the main meat of this episode was the journey to Gorilla City on Earth 2.
Or as I call it, Planet Flash. Did you see the whole gladiator stuff that they were doing?
Yes.
Very like Planet Hulk kind of thing.
Yeah. That was really cool.
It was. It was.
the fact, because I mean, I looked at this and thought, oh, you're going to put a speedster in enclosed space with a gorilla. That gorilla's dead now. But the leader of the gorilla city was able to hold his own against Flash, and I don't know if that's just Flash's inexperience or that gorilla's just pretty badass. That seemed pretty badass.
I would say that as well, because I don't see how a gorilla can hold his own against a speedster. You know, I mean, even in previous episodes where they would handle things like, you know, a lot of the time when Flash is being chased by other characters, it doesn't make sense how they can actually give him a challenge.
And well, I suppose he's just beating Flash on experience.
I suppose.
Maybe. Based on Grodd's description of this gorilla city and their society, you get there by being the strongest fighter.
I suppose.
Yeah, but
still though, a fighter who's fighting other gorillas, not speedsters.
I like we got a call out to the gravity punches.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, use those mass punches. Cool.
Yes.
All right. I like that completely failed. Because if you're not fast enough to defeat Saboteur, you're not fast enough to have an infinite mass punch.
True.
Your punches aren't that strong.
I think they kind of skated over the science behind it. Even the continuity, based on the fact that Saboteur is present, and they keep talking about the whole thing of you being fast enough to see him. You know?
And I did like that he had his... I thought their cell phones weren't working, but apparently cell phones work there, because he had Cisco coaching him from the cell. And I'm like, oh, okay, your cell phones work. That's interesting. I thought this cage dampened everything, but oh no, you've got reception.
No, it dampens powers.
It dampens powers.
Yes,
but
cell signal goes
but
through.
Hey, you still get full bars. Perfect reception.
Earth to Verizon. So I like how they showed off when they spoke to the prisoners.
And then they escape from the cage, which really clever. I like the way. Oh, Caitlin, use your powers, slow him down,
to fake Barry's
a little
death.
fake out. That was cool. I liked it. I thought overall the battle was cool. I like that the team felt cohesive. I didn't need the Wally West Jesse Quick stuff, but I suppose that's going to pay off.
They had to have something to do, I guess.
I'm willing to invest in it now for the payoff. I think that payoff is going to be good. So, overall, what do you think of the episode?
Look, you mentioned the whole thing of how Caitlin faked Barry's death. I did have issue with the fact that, okay, he's like basically out cold, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But he can still hear Caitlin whispering to him, telling him that Silver's gone, so that he can
Well,
phase.
no, wasn't it Harrison that said, oh, he's gone? Yeah, Harrison.
Oh, yes, it was.
That was cool. I like that. I don't know if it's as cool as Fortress of Solitude, because that place is pretty chill.
I can just imagine like the eye sculpture of Jarrell now like guiding people into the entrance like it's a tour. Ever since I saw him move.
Oh, hang on. Also, speaking of romance, Julian's got game hitting on Caitlin at the end. Like,
He's been building that.
Okay, his is the most sincere relationship in this episode.
Especially with the development that the character himself is going through.
Yeah, and I also think that maybe he's just a better actor than a lot of the other people.
He probably is, because I mean,
he's got that Harry Potter heritage.
Exactly, and he's probably classically trained, given his nationality.
So Draco Malfoy shows up and becomes alchemy, then becomes someone else. It's just, hey.
Wow. There was just too much geeky goodness in the Flash these days. Dude.
Give it a rating.
Let's see. I give it 3 lightning bolts out of 5.
Okay. I would give it 4 lightning bolts.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I'm in a good mood this week, you can tell.
Yes.
Supergirl started off right. I liked The Flash. The Flash was good. I did. And 4 out of 5. I think it's great.
All right, that wraps up The Flash.
But I stack it 'cause you never know. I'ma live life till I overdose. While they sleeping on me, that's comatose. I went mainstream with my
So next, Legends of Tomorrow.
Ooh, yes. The Camelot episode.
Dude, I don't know.
Well, okay, so there's a lot of telegraphing in this. And as soon as they go back to Camelot, and the person who, when they get ambushed by the knights, and she raises her helmet and says, "I'm Guinevere," at that point I'm like, wait a second. Will Malcolm Merlin show up? No, he doesn't, okay, so I went the wrong way. But also, Sarah Lancelot, they're gonna bang.
Of course.
They had to. They didn't,
But yeah.
but as soon as you get into that, you're like, oh yeah, Lancelot.
In
See
fact-
what you're doing.
You know, with several interpretations so far, right, with the important women that they visit in the past,
Yeah,
the
Sarah's...
twist this time around was the fact that she didn't.
And, well, the Black Knight, obviously, Damien Dark.
Of course.
I don't know.
That
Yeah,
was smart.
sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm on board. We
But
can have a
where
cameo.
was Malcolm though? I mean, look,
Yeah,
I get the fact that they chose to use Stargirl as Merlin, right? Which
she's-
was kind of smart,
She's got a staff, she's a good guy. That's cool. Wizard, let's make it happen.
right? But there wasn't enough justification to say as to why Merlin wasn't there.
Yeah, because where is Eobard Thawne and Malcolm Merlin at this point? I
Like, how did Damien Dark get there on his own?
I'm assuming this was a team effort, guys. I thought we were all trying to get the pieces of destiny.
That's what normally
And
happens.
then at the end of the episode, Damien Dark just leaves the guy who's the only person that knows where the rest of the pieces are. It's like, no, I don't need him, I'm good. What? I'm sorry, there are a few pieces missing here. Damien, come on. What? No? Did he write it down for you?
You want to
What
take a
is-
vacay in Camelot when we've got work to do?
You know, I guess that's cool, man. You do you.
Do a little
You do
cosplay.
you, Damien. It's fine.
So, thoughts on Ray Palmer's lightsaber?
I thought that was cheesy as hell. Of course Ray Palmer would do that. That's in keeping with the character. Oh, yeah, you got a super suit. I thought, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're definitely wearing that under your regular suit of armor, aren't you? Yes, you are. They're going to come back and fight with you. Definitely. This episode was exactly what you would expect it to be. And that's not a bad thing. It was what it was.
It was so painful to get through. You know, look,
Yeah, okay.
Legends. I'm used to it being sort of like the campier, more laid back
Yeah, it
show
is camp.
compared to the other ones. You know, but oh man, they really slapped down the cheese on this one.
Well, I do like the callback to the Justice Society.
Yes.
That and the jump to the future to figure out the mystery about Captain Midnight and where
Oh,
he
yes.
went. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yes.
great. We figured
Doctor
that.
Midnight.
Doctor Midnight.
I think he'd be upset. It's a title.
Well, he can show me his PhD anytime, but he's dead now. So.
Oh wow! It was, yeah, okay. That I guess also did try to add maybe some complexity, some seriousness, but that was about it, I guess.
I like that the show's pretty fluid with time. But we can have an episode where we jump to the year 3000, pick up some tech, jump back to 500 AD. Yeah, they're all Common Era, CE is what I prefer to use.
Uh-huh.
So let's jump back to Arthurian times, which are only Arthurian times because Rip Hunter, who is sworn to protect the timeline, put someone there that read stories about Arthurian times, thereby creating the legend that she... Does he not see that this is a time paradox? When he did this, was he like, no, it's fine. People know King Arthur. It's great. It's okay. It doesn't matter if it's real.
Because what that is now saying is that basically Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table have been brought to life by way of time paradox.
Yeah, so they should
Aberration.
Yeah, they should be aberrations. Clearly, this is only existing because of Stargirl.
Yes.
But I suppose if you were to press the writers, they would say, "Oh no, she's got a piece of the spear. It's rewriting reality." Cool.
You know,
that's the little Deus ex machina. That's
yes, and I guess
literally.
I would say maybe that's one thing I suppose that kind of redeems the episode in my eyes. She created a time aberration in order to hide a piece of the spear of destiny.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's quite awesome.
Rip's playing very fast and loose with time, and I think he's not a very good time master. I'd give him solid B's in Time Master School.
I suppose you could say he's a jack of all times, but a master of none.
Well, considering that he's spent time in the TARDIS, he and Malcolm Merlin they've both been on Doctor Who, you would think they've got time travel down by now. I don't know. Maybe that's... maybe we were just watching alternate versions of them from Earth BBC.
So we now have a crossover with the BBC, Planet of the Apes, and the rest of the CW shows.
Yeah.
They're really going all out.
So, Legends, overall thoughts. What did you think of this week's episode?
Well, look, okay, as I was saying earlier, it was a little campy, it was a little cheesy, but I like some of the creative ideas that they had, especially as far as having Stargirl be Merlin. That was interesting, and the fact that she had to create a time aberration to hide the Spear of Destiny.
Obviously in Excalibur.
Obviously.
Because where else would you put
Obviously,
it? Yeah.
I mean, you know, a Camelot-centric episode, that's just the perfect hiding spot, you know. Yeah, it was okay, I guess.
It was cheesy, Lance a lot. That was...
Right?
Yeah, that was on the nose. That from the first frame, I thought, wait, yeah, I see where you're going with this. But Legends is supposed to be the cheesy show.
I suppose. It's the fun show. It's the fun show.
Yeah, let's go on a romp. A romp through time.
Through time.
So, rating. What do you think?
Okay. I'll give it 3 Ray Palmer lightsabers out of 5.
Okay. I'm going to go with 4 Merlins. Yeah. I liked it. I thought it's in keeping with the tone of the show, and it was a light episode. I liked it.
Okay. All right.
Moving on.
Mad as fuck, you ain't come close, and your next girl is my ex-girl. She fine as hell, but she a mess, girl. All I do is rhyme, I got no time, so I can't reply to your test, girl. But I'm back again.
Should we now discuss this week's episode of the show I love to hate? It's Arrow.
The Emerald Archer. So,
Yeah.
Look.
I didn't hate it this week. I didn't.
no.
I thought this is a normal, typical Arrow episode. Whereas last week's and the week before that were off form. They were really hard to watch. Thought this was, okay, we're bringing back some villains. We're going to have a nice, straightforward, here we go, catch the bad guys kind of episode. And that's what we got.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. Look, and also, again, you know, Quentin, you know, dealing with the guilt of a former MCU, sorry, not MCU, SCPD operative,
Yeah.
or officer rather, who actually turned to the dark side. He felt kind of responsible
Which,
for that.
as
And
it
yet-
was clearly pointed out, is ridiculous.
It is. But, you know, just him, like, he played it so well, going through that emotional journey, and also having to deal with, whilst dealing with that, having to give blessing for the new Black Canary.
I liked that moment. I liked that he doesn't think Laura wants someone to take her place. He wants someone to carry on in her place.
Yes.
And that was a nice touching moment where he realizes the importance of a black canary being there, rather than his attachment to so many dead lancers. Hashtag dead lancers.
How did I not see it coming?
Well,
Oh my God.
he's still the emotional core of the show.
Yes, definitely. He grounds it.
Felicity is still on form, being the worst team member on the whole of Team Arrow. How is she not? Just kick her off the team. She's so bad.
Oh man. And you know, this time she was involved in something that was so terrible, even though it wasn't like directly her idea. The whole
The fact that she did it, that hacking that reporter's laptop.
well, I mean, it's Felicity.
Yeah, but it's still
It's
she's
typical.
she's not on Team Arrow. She's playing general good guy. I am now representative of Team Arrow instead of let's follow Oliver's lead.
More
and
like
see.
hostile takeover, good guy.
Yeah.
Because she's always just, you know, grabbing the reins regardless of what happens.
I really hate her. Yeah. But I did like that her, in her continual transgressions against being a team player, did give us that moment of Thea, where Thea is becoming more like a mother. She did something that was wrong, that was not a mistake. It was a deliberate destruction of a person's life. And that's dark, and I like that Thea's getting that kind of arc going.
Is it just me, or is Stephen Amell just the perfect actor for reprimand scenes? He always makes it so...
Really?
Like the gravitas of it and the emotion, you know, like you really felt the whole bigger brother thing of, look, I love you, but I really hate what you did.
Okay, I kind of get that a little bit in this episode, but generally it's more like, what? Like he's confused that
Yes.
someone did something that he didn't expect.
Yes, yeah. No,
Really?
true.
Really? Is this really confusing?
And he
This
does
is
it a
all-
lot with Felicity.
You've had a couple years of this, mate. You should know by now. Because overall, I suppose it's 10 years since he first landed on Lianlu.
Yeah. When you go back to the island, yes.
Dude, come on, you're 10 years
Even in
into this.
Backstab, one of your main villains is someone you started off with at the end, who actually taught you how to fight and everything.
So how about you act less surprised? Of course, yes.
Wow. Wow.
I did like, and I like that they didn't say it, but they brought back Cupid. She's so fun. She's that kind of crazy heart that I'd really like to see play out.
Wow. You know, I wonder, she's not from the comics, is she?
I have no idea. I honestly, my Arrow comic knowledge is lacking.
That's something we'll have to look at in nth-level comics.
It should be corrected.
Yes.
I do
She
feel...
is an interesting psychopath, that one.
Yeah, she's fun. She's fun. China White is a little bit of a racist name. Maybe that's racist.
See,
I don't know. Maybe I'm... Well, I mean, come on.
Again, one of those things where they're forced to stick to canon, I guess, because she is from the comics.
Yeah.
So...
Comics aren't exactly known for being subtle. But I liked the team up. I liked that we got a little fallout from the whole church power vacuum that got left.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's got money. Let's go grab that. Perfect sense. I like it. It's been touched on earlier as well. That power vacuum that's been
Yes,
there.
because he was talking to that lady who ran some corporation, who he was actually like sort of funding this money through. I'm not sure exactly what the involvement of the deal was that they had. But
Don't
I
make
know
me
it
go
involved
back
a
and
lot of money.
rewatch Arrow. Don't make me do it. Please don't. Life's too short.
But that was also an interesting thing. But you know, Oliver had a lot to deal with this episode.
Yes.
You know, him having to actually sort of fall lower and lower in favor as he's trying to actually keep things together. You know, as mayor, he had to almost compromise his secret identity.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how the fallout of that journalist being burned actually resonates through the show. Because I kind of like that Oliver's reaching out and dating people that aren't Felicity. She's fantastic. Maybe he could reveal his identity to her and bring her on to replace Felicity on the team.
Wow.
You couldn't do worse.
Okay, look, technically Felicity is kind of needed as far as her skills are concerned. What's Susan gonna do?
Well, she can be fabulous. She can be fabulous next to Mr. Fantastic.
Wow. Mr. Terrific, Dave.
Well, that's fantastically, fabulously terrific.
Let's just pile on, shall we?
Dr. Mr. Adjective. That's the name scheme.
No, it was a great episode. And Mr. Terrific is starting to look more like he does in the comics now.
Yeah, that's cool.
With his white updates on his costume. That was pretty cool.
The Bradfa flashbacks weren't necessarily needed, but thematically related to the episode. I thought that was cool.
I suppose. Oliver's last days in the Bradfa.
Yeah.
Stopping Anatoly from being killed. You know, it was a bit jarring going back to an Oliver flashback after a Wild Dog one, you know, because the Wild Dog one kind of set me up to expect that, oh, are they done with Oliver's flashbacks, you know?
But they jump around, generally. And it didn't detract from the episode. I like that it's classic Arrow back on form.
Yes.
There are little bits that I don't quite like, but we all know what those bits are. It's one big blonde bit.
And speaking of blondes, although she isn't one yet, Dinah Drake getting sworn in as a police officer officially.
Oh, yes.
By the corrupt mayor.
Oh, and
Oliver Queen.
And she got the mask, didn't she,
Yes.
as well? Felicity
Yes,
handing her the
Felicity.
mask.
Yes. Felicity did something good. I guess it was the only way they could have to redeem her.
That doesn't redeem her. No. But okay, yeah. Overall, I liked the episode. It was fun.
It was good.
The characters were in keeping with what you would expect.
Yes.
They didn't try to go off on some kind of PSA that they're not tooled to do.
Right. Yeah, well, I guess that was specifically for the Mayor of the Queen episode, but this was good as far as Arrow getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
Oh, and the scene in the beginning, Oliver talking to Prometheus's mom, sorry.
Yes.
That was quite something.
It's to be expected. I mean, come on. You know what you did.
Wow.
And I like that she seems like someone who's going to be consistent and rational.
I suppose. But, you know, at the same time, like, look, I guess it's almost like we were dealing with two hypocritical energies or something, if I can call it that, because now, here's Oliver asking her to catch the guy who's doing the things because he killed her dad. I mean, his dad, sorry. And at the same time, she's defending a murderer just because he's doing it because he killed her dad, his dad.
Well, as far as she knows, the Green Arrow
Well, yes.
is a murderer. He is a murderer. This is a thing that's been touched on that...
But so is her son. And she says, no, you're going to put him in a cage like an animal. Yes, because that's what happens to murderers.
So is Wild Dog. He's still on the team. Murder seems to be this... It's bad when it's convenient kind of thing.
Look, we still haven't confirmed whether or not the arms that they're using in their guns are lethal or not.
They must be bullets. You're shooting people.
But it was a good episode. It was a good episode all in all.
Yeah, and I like seeing Kelly Hu on screen.
Oh, yes. Always a treat to see
Yeah.
Kelly Hu on screen. Always. Thank you, CW. Okay, well, all in all, I think I would give this one 4 wild dog masks out of 5.
Oh, okay. I similarly would give it 4 dead lancers. Hashtag dead lancers.
I'm really hoping you're not actually starting a thing.
We'll let the people decide.
Guys, we want this channel to stay up, please. No hashtagging dead lancers, please. CW, if you're watching, I had nothing to do with it. Okay?
I did though. Hire me as a writer, I'll fix this.
Well, guys, that wraps up this week's episode of nth-level entertainment.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Again, my name is Weletu.
And I'm Dave.
Thank you for watching. What's up, Internet? This is Weletu Mashlang, and look out for the latest episode of nth-level.
I'm feeling myself, fresh to death, bitch, I'm killing myself, I'm gone. We burning it up, step in the building, we turning it up. Talking that shit, but they never admit when I said to the mic, I be murdering it and we living. Real good, mainstream, but it's still good.